nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Michelle, could you call the roll, please?
Dennis.
Here.
Harold.
Here.
Hollenbaugh.
Here.
Musgrave.
Here.
Odoricio.
Here.
Phipps.
Here.
Robinette.
Here.
Okay. The minutes from our January 6th meeting were circulated for your perusal prior to this evening. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Correspondence. Michelle, do we have any correspondence?
We do not have any correspondence this evening.
All right, thank you. Do we have anyone signed up for lobby visitations?
We do. Sean Brennan.
If you could please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, my name is Sean Brennan. I live at 208 Beverly Avenue, and tonight I'm here on behalf of the Porch Fest Committee. And we'd like to announce that this year's Porch Fest will take place Saturday, May 31st. We'll have the same format as last year, 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock, 20 bands total on 18 different locations. And that really about it. We'll have more restrooms this year. So we're planning for that. We've gotten some good donations so far for things like that. So just want to make sure everybody was aware. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you very much.
Next, we have Mary Hinkleman.
Good evening, Council. I'm Mary Hinkleman, 217 South Church Street, Executive Director of Bowling Green Chamber of Commerce and Visit BG Ohio. I have before each of you tonight our annual report for Visit BG Ohio, and I hope you take some time to go over all the details there. I will say Visit BG put extensive efforts into promoting Bowling Green this year, as in every year, as an ideal location for events, meetings, attraction for leisure travelers through unique experiences and offering exceptional hospitality to ensure visitors keep returning. With our support through our tourism grants and our sponsorships, we've provided a means for events in all different phases from start up to expansion. So we're super excited to see people move on. We have included in the reports details on the portion of economic impact all of this has on our city and our county. Now, impact, direct impact versus indirect impact, I kind of explained that in the annual report too. So when you see it, please keep in mind that's just the direct impact that I included there. This year, we went much further than just providing the organizations. Well, I say this year, every year. We provide further than just providing the organizations with the requested financial support. We also help them with finding resources within the community, because some of them are from out of town and they aren't sure who to work with when they come here. We connect partners and we participate in the events. You will see how many different things we did attend personally to market Bowling Green directly to the visitors that the events have been attracting. Most recently, we connected the Ohio wine producers that we've worked with over the past few years to try to create their event. They were struggling with their overhead costs, so we've made that connection with them in one of our current events, and that'll be announced soon. So they're going to stick with us because they want to introduce those Ohio wines to people and continue to build the wine industry here in Ohio. We spent our marketing dollars in print, digital, and social media through reports on our social search engine marketing. We know that we're performing well in the 3 Cs, Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati, as well as we've really broken into the Detroit market with them wanting to get information, and Fort Wayne, Indiana. We were represented at Team Ohio, by Team Ohio and BGSU at Sports Destination Conference, even in Portland, Oregon, to try to attract some sporting events here. We are at the AAA Travel Show in Columbus, BGSU, student orientations, and more. But each and every one of those locations and events that we attend, we have different marketing strategies to market to the people that we're out there talking to. One of our biggest undertakings in 2024 was our BG magazine publication. This was the second time that that magazine was published, and we did quite a bit in-house, as I mentioned to you before. So kudos to our team for pulling that off, and I will let you know, we actually met today with a new publisher, and we're already looking at 2026 for the next publication. Taylor Ramos, new to our team last year as marketing lead, has done a fantastic job. We had 2 interns that also were crucially needed with all the things that we accomplished, and this year, we're looking ahead into revamping our website because we need it to be just a little more user-friendly, and it's a little bit on the older side, so projects are piling up as we speak. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, but I hope you appreciate all the efforts that are coming out of our organization, and we're enjoying it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have Nancy and Jim Wenger.
We have nothing to add. We're just here to see us observe.
Okay. We have no further lobby visitors.
Okay, thank you very much. That brings us to the introduction of new legislation.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette.
from the Finance Committee, I have 2 ordinances. First, an ordinance providing supplemental and/or amending appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio during the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025. And an ordinance authorizing an agreement between the City of Bowling Green, Ohio and the Wood County Regional Airport Authority.
Mr. President,
Mr. Harold.
Transportation and Safety Committee, I have an ordinance amending and adopting Section 90.02 of the codified ordinances of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio regarding failure to confine animals.
Mr. President,
Mr. O'Dorisio.
from the Community Improvement Committee, I have a resolution authorizing the mayor of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio to enter into a programmatic agreement between the City of Bowling Green and the State Historic Preservation Office, formerly known as the Ohio Historic Preservation Office, for the administration of activities funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Ohio Development Services Agency, formerly known as the Ohio Department of Development. Additionally, I have a resolution of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio, supporting the Ohio Commission for the United States Semi-Quincentennial America 250-08.
Okay.
That was something.
And I have an ordinance from Utilities, an ordinance authorizing an additional temporary reduction and/or moratorium of certain residential construction fees. That brings us to official reports. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, Council. I just have one item to share this evening. Just today, we received notice, official notice on the pending retirement of Police Chief Tony Hetrick. We've known that this was coming, so this didn't come as a surprise. This is just confirming the date for us. Tony's last day of service to the Bowling Green community will occur on May 4th, 2025. I'm sure that you will agree that when Tony retires, this will conclude an impressive career, a very long career dedicated to the safety and the well-being of the Bowling Green community and its residents. And I know that, like me, you have been impressed with Chief Hetrick's dedication and his professionalism. And I look forward to having him at a future council meeting to provide an opportunity for all of us to together acknowledge his service to the community and wish him well in his pending retirement. So the city charter does provide very detailed guidance on choosing the successor to the police chief, and we will begin this process very soon, and we'll be, of course, sharing with City Council the results of this process as we work through it at some later date. That concludes my report, and subject to any questions that you may have.
Are there any questions for the mayor this evening? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I see Ms. Treader is not here this evening. Martha, do you have something?
I do, actually. First, if there's any questions that we can convey to Lori, let me know, and we'll be glad to do that. Luckily, we had already arranged for Mick Murray, our Public Works Director, to give a report to council tonight.
Okie dokie.
Good evening, council. Have some updates for you from last year and this coming year. Last year, our public works staff repaired all asphalt and concrete removed or damaged due to work performed by our utilities departments. In addition to our own asphalt and concrete work, we also crack sealed 15 streets. We installed new sidewalks, curbs, and curb ramps at the Sandridge and South Maple intersection for a rapid flash beacon that was installed by our electric division. Safe Routes to School study identified this area as needing an improved crossing. We also performed a sidewalk infill project on North Enterprise between Poe and Frazee. This included approximately 565 foot of 5-foot sidewalk and an updated curb ramp. In addition to our normal refuse and recycling, which includes 5,808 stops per week, we also performed 870 heavy item collections. We performed 2 rounds of leaf collection and 4 rounds of brush collection, and as of September last year, we no longer require sign up for brush collection. We installed 5 road temperature sensors strategically placed in all 4 wards and at the intersection of Main and Wooster. These sensors provide us with information such as street surface temperature, surface state, whether it's dry or wet, snow or ice cover, grip information, as well as the amount of treatment on the surface, treatment being road salt or brine. The software also provides us with a forecast of surface temperatures and weather reports. This has proven to be a valuable asset to our winter operations. With assistance from our GIS department, we are in the final stages of creating a winter weather dashboard that our staff can use in their plow trucks that will show what streets we have been on and how long it has been since we serviced each street. It will also highlight where we have applied treatment, both salt and brine, as well as tracking our salt and brine usage, utilizing sensors that we installed last year on our spreaders and brine pumps. This dashboard will also display information from the newly installed road sensors. The goal of the winter weather dashboard is to improve the efficiency of our operations and reduce the amount of treatment that we are applying. We also plan to make this dashboard public-facing so residents can view in real time the progress of our staff during winter weather events. We are also currently pilot testing refuse and recycling software from Rubicon. This software will allow us to monitor waste management services in real time, enabling us to effectively measure and manage the impact and efficiency of our waste removal services. Our efforts to digitize all our Oak Grove cemetery records and GPS every plot will continue in '25. This year, we budgeted to GPRS, or ground penetrating radar, our final 2 sections. The ground penetrating radar locates every vault within the identified areas. After the vaults have been identified, our staff will GPS the individual vaults, and our GIS department will verify and adjust our maps as necessary. For facilities, last year we inspected roofs and exteriors on all of our city-owned buildings and worked with the Garland Company to prioritize repairs and develop a 5-year plan. Last year, we installed a new roof at Pearl Street Fire. We restored the western and upper elevations at Municipal Court. This work included items such as cleaning and sealing the masonry, repairing control joints, sealing gutters, caulking, etc. We repaired damage from a fallen tree at the Winter Garden Lodge. We also initiated a citywide facilities help ticket on the city start page. And last year, our staff was able to close out 190 requests. This year, we plan to install LED lighting in the courtrooms at Municipal Court and in the truck bays at Pearl Fire. We are working to move the HVAC system at Simpson Garden Park from the attic to a new maintenance closet. And we have prioritized and budgeted for HVAC equipment upgrades and repairs at the community center. Monies were budgeted to complete the 3 remaining exterior elevations at the Municipal Court for repair and maintenance this year. And we also have 2 masonry projects planned for the water treatment plant. Our urban forestry in 2024 planted 172 trees, removed 85 trees, 59 of those were hazard trees, and 7 were in conflict with other infrastructure. Our staff pruned over 500 trees, responded to 800 tree concerns and questions from residents. Adrienne Loewen-Kirian, our urban forester, hosted 2 events to promote tree care and planting. She also visited 3 elementary schools to promote Arbor Day and provide tree education. Adrienne also received a $415,000 urban and community forestry grant that will help residents with removal of hazard trees, tree pruning, removal of invasive species, and canopy tree planting. We received our 44th Tree City Award, as well as our 30th Growth Award. This year, we will host the Northwest Ohio Tree City Award ceremony on April 16th. Adrienne, the Tree Commission, and Stephanie Miller, our regional urban forester from ODNR, have been working hard to plan this event. Projects from 2024. Last year was the final year for our ARPA paving. We completed Pearl between Winter Garden and Church and Sand Ridge between Winter Garden and South Main. Both of these paving jobs included updated curb ramps as well. Pearl between Church and Main was also repaved after a utility project was completed. This section of Pearl also included new curb ramps and sidewalks. Gypsy Lane was paved from Sand Ridge to the Walmart entrance and between I-75 and Dunbridge Road. We partnered with Plain Township to perform a Cape Seal treatment on Brim Road from Bishop north to the Corp limit and on Mitchell Road from Poe north to the Corp limit. We also repaved Carter Park parking lot. For 25, we'll be repaving the South Main Street from Ordway south to the Corp limit. This project will include dedicated turn lanes at the intersection of Main and Napoleon, new curbs between Gypsy Lane and Napoleon, as well as a shared use path on the west side of South Main between Gypsy and Napoleon. 2 pedestrian hybrid beacons, similar to the crossings on East Wooster, will also be added to the Gypsy Lane to Napoleon corridor. At the completion of this project, our urban forester will be adding approximately 85 trees. This spring, contractors will be installing a pedestrian hybrid beacon at the intersection of Maple and East Wooster. This will include crosswalks on either side of Maple and signal activation on both sides as well. We have a few projects in the pipeline. The Brim shared use path from Cogan's Crossing to the high school is scheduled to be constructed in '26. The Crim to Mercer shared use path is scheduled to be constructed in '27. And the Bremen Bishop Roundabout is scheduled for '28. We have received ODOT funding for a sidewalk infill project on Conneaut Avenue, as well as Winter Garden. These funds, along with ARPA funds, will add sidewalk on Conneaut from Winter Garden to the existing sidewalk at the Waterside Development, and on South Winter Garden from Winter Garden Park south to North Street. Both of these projects are scheduled to begin construction in '27. The city was also awarded $3.6 million for the construction of a shared use path on North Main from Nims Road to Poe Road. This U.S. Department of Transportation award was a 4-county effort led by Lucas County to receive Safe Streets for All funding. This project is scheduled to begin in '28. We have a few safety studies out right now. The first one is Main Street Bike and Ped Study. Manic Smith is close to finalizing the traffic models. They are currently analyzing our traffic signal data for all intersections on Main Street. They also have an internal charrette scheduled for 2 days with Alta Planning Group to develop conceptual themes later this month. Manic Smith has provided us with a short online public survey that will be made public this week. The steering committee is scheduled to meet in February. We have a safety study of Sand Ridge in Winter Garden intersection, as well as the Sand Ridge and Gypsy Lane intersection. Manic Smith is conducting this study to inventory existing conditions and safety concerns and utilizing ODOT analysis tools to determine the predicted and expected crash frequencies of the roadway corridors under existing conditions and compare that with the implementation of potential countermeasures. We have an RFQ close to going out for a bike and ped study of the West Wooster corridor. This study aims to improve bike and pedestrian safety through the Wooster corridor between Church Street and Winter Garden Road, as well as implementing traffic countermeasures. Lot 1 is currently being reviewed by the Edge Design Group for aesthetic and functionality improvements. I'll conclude my report by saying that we truly have an amazing and talented public works staff that goes out of their way every day to provide residents and other city departments with exceptional service. And that concludes my report, subject to any questions.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any questions for Mick this evening?
Mr. President?
Yep.
And Mick, thank you for that comprehensive report. Can we get a copy of that?
Sure. Yep, I'll email.
And you mentioned the Conneaut Sidewalk project using ARPA money. You said that would be completed in 2027?
Yeah, we met with ODOT earlier this month to do a walkthrough, and they gave us a timeline. And as of right now, they plan construction for '27. I'm sorry, 26.
Okay, so the construction's in '26.
Construction '26, yes.
How is our use of the ARPA money related to ODOT?
My hope was to combine those two projects to get a better price.
Okay.
That was the goal. And the ODOT portion will pick up where the ARPA section leaves off.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
Mr. President? Mick, I apologize if you told us this, but when do we expect to get the West Wooster Ped Bike Study back?
The West Wooster,
West Wooster.
that RFQ will be going out in February.
Okay, and so
I'm not sure how long that one will take.
okay,
Hopefully this year yet.
okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Anything from Martha? Anything for Lori through Martha? All right, thank you both. City Attorney, Mr. Brown.
Good evening. I have no report unless you have questions, and especially if they're about annexations.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Brown? Okay, thank you very much. Public Infrastructure Director, Mr. O'Connell.
Good evening. Had several water breaks since December due to the cold weather. I think we're up to about 8, just shy of 10 so far. This is quite a few more than what we had last year. Seems like every couple of days we're having another water break. But the guys have been able to get the water lines repaired, get the line put back into service relatively quickly. Sometimes we do get calls about frozen water lines from a customer. A lot of times it may be on their side where it's part of their service, maybe it's under their crawl space. We do respond to those. Sometimes they have to get a plumber to help them thaw out their water lines that are on their side of the curb box. But that's been taking up some of our staff's time here recently, last few weeks. For projects, you may have noticed out at the Carter Park ball fields, the lights are up on the southern diamonds. Not operational just yet. The contractor is still working on getting electric pulled and wired up. Work on that will be finished up in the spring of this year, well in time for the ball season to begin. We are getting contracts signed for the water treatment plant low service pump station improvements. That's underway. That work will be ongoing throughout 2025, likely into early 2026 before that's completed. And then coming out for bids, it'll be next month, late February, is a project at the Poe Mercer Pump Station. We have some odor issues that result due to low flows typically during the summertime, but also maybe throughout the year you may notice that if you drive by, detecting some odors near the Poe and Mercer intersection. We're going to install some odor control equipment there, and that project is out for bid right now. Again, opening bids in late February, and then construction would be done over 25, and again, hopefully wrapping up in early 2026 by the time we get equipment ordered and get that work completed. That's my update for you, unless you have questions.
Are there any questions for Mr. O'Connell this evening? Okay. Thank you very much. That brings us to council committee report. Council committee reports this evening.
Yes, Mr. President.
Mr. Robinette?
The Finance Committee will meet on February 3rd at 6:30 prior to our regularly scheduled meeting, and the purpose of that meeting will be to receive the 2024 year-end review report from the Finance Director.
Okay. Any other council committee reports this evening? Hearing none, that brings us to the reading of legislation. Michelle?
Legislation for first reading. Resolution 3877 for first reading. Resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Bowling Green, Ohio, to enter into a programmatic agreement between the city of Bowling Green and the State Historic Preservation Office, formerly known as Ohio Historic Preservation Office, for the administration of activities funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Ohio Development Services Agency, formerly known as Ohio Department of Development. Resolution 3878 for first reading. Resolution of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio, supporting the Ohio Commission for the United States Semi-Quincentennial, America 250 OH.
Mr. President,
Mr. Odoricio?
I move to suspend the rules and give Resolution 3878 its second and third reading.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Michelle?
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh,
Yes.
Musgrave,
Yes.
Odoricio,
Yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Dennis.
Yes.
Okay, the rules are suspended for Resolution 3878.
Mr. President,
Has to be read.
Uh,
oh, thank you.
Michelle has to read it first.
Resolution 3878 for second and third reading, resolution of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio, supporting the Ohio Commission for the United States Semi-Quincentennial America 250 OH.
Mr. President,
Mr. Odericio.
I move to adopt Resolution 3878.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay. Michelle?
Hollenbaugh,
Yes.
Musgrave,
Yes.
Odericio,
Yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold.
Yes.
All right, Resolution 3878 is adopted.
Ordinance 9256 for first reading. Ordinance providing supplemental and/or amending appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio during the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette.
I move to suspend the rules and give ordinance 9256 its second and third readings.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Michelle?
Musgrave,
Yes.
Odericio,
Yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh.
Yes, the rules are suspended for ordinance 9256.
Ordinance 9256 for second and third reading. Ordinance providing supplemental and/or amending appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio during the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette.
I move to adopt ordinance 9256.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, Michelle?
Odericio,
Yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh,
Yes.
Musgrave.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 9256 is adopted.
Ordinance 9257 for first reading. Ordinance authorizing an agreement between the City of Bowling Green, Ohio and the Wood County Regional Airport Authority. Ordinance 9258 for first reading. Ordinance amending and adopting Section 90.02 of the codified ordinances of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio regarding failure to confine animals. Ordinance 9259 for first reading. Ordinance authorizing an additional temporary reduction and/or moratorium of certain residential construction fees. Legislation for second reading. Ordinance 9255 for second reading. Ordinance amending and adopting Chapter 121 of the codified ordinances of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio regarding rental dwelling registration. Legislation for third reading. Resolution 3874 for third reading. Resolution for City Council not opposing the transfer of a Class D2 liquor permit to Kaiseki LLC and authorizing the mayor to sign permit.
Mr. President,
Ms. Phipps?
I move to adopt Resolution 3874.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Michelle?
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh,
Yes.
Musgrave,
Yes.
Odericio.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 3874 is adopted.
Ordinance 3875 for third reading. Resolution adopting and authorizing an amended Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, Housing Policy and Procedures Manual.
Mr. President,
Mr. Odericio.
I move to adopt Resolution 3875.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Michelle?
Robinette,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh,
Yes.
Musgrave,
Yes.
Odericio,
Yes.
Phipps.
Yes.
All right, resolution 3875 is adopted.
Ordinance 9249 for third reading. Ordinance authorizing the utility director to enter into an agreement with AMP Transmission LLC for the purchase of a 69 kV transmission assets.
I move to adopt ordinance 9249.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Michelle?
Dennis?
Yes.
Harold?
Yes.
Hollenbaugh?
Yes.
Musgrave?
Yes.
Odoricio?
Yes.
Phipps?
Yes.
Robinette?
Yes.
All right, ordinance 9249 is adopted.
Ordinance 9250 for third reading. Ordinance authorizing the Utilities Director to transfer approximately 5.36 acres of city-owned property in the Woodbridge Business Park, parcel number B07511210000111005 to Bowling Green Economic Development in lieu of dues to facilitate a development project.
I move to adopt ordinance 9250.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, Michelle?
Harold?
Yes.
Hollenbaugh?
Yes.
Musgrave?
Yes.
Odoricio?
Yes.
Phipps?
Yes.
Robinette?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 9250 is adopted.
Ordinance 9251 for third reading. Ordinance accepting annexation of approximately 65.62 acres of land in Center Township, Wood County from James A. Grandowitz Jr. on behalf of Laurel J. Crone petitioner.
Mr. President,
Ms. Phipps?
I move to adopt ordinance 9251.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Michelle?
Hollenbaugh?
Yes.
Musgrave?
Yes.
Odoricio?
Yes.
Phipps?
Yes.
Robinette?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Harold?
Yes.
All right, ordinance 9251 is adopted.
Ordinance 9252 for third reading. Ordinance establishing interim zoning of IE innovation and employment zoning for the approximately 65.62 acres of land located south of Bowling Green Road East, East Wooster Street on Durham Road, and recently annexed to the city as petitioned for by James A. Grandowitz Jr., agent for Laurel J. Crone petitioner.
Mr. President,
Ms. Phipps?
I move to adopt ordinance 9252.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Michelle?
Musgrave?
Yes.
Odoricio?
Yes.
Phipps?
Yes.
Robinette?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Harold?
Yes.
Hollenbaugh?
Yes. Ordinance 9252 is adopted.
Ordinance 9253 for third reading. Ordinance accepting annexation of approximately 95 acres of land in Center Township, Wood County, from James A. Grandowitz Jr. on behalf of Ronald J. and Linda K. Joseph petitioner.
Mr. President,
Ms. Phipps?
I move to adopt ordinance 9253.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Michelle?
Odoricio?
Yes.
Phipps?
Yes.
Robinette?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Harold?
Yes.
Hollenbaugh?
Yes.
Musgrave?
Yes.
All right, ordinance 9253 is adopted.
Ordinance 9254 for third reading. Ordinance establishing interim zoning of IE innovation and employment zoning for approximately 95 acres of land located on Bowling Green Road East, East Wooster Street, and recently annexed to the city as petitioned for by James A. Grandowitz Jr. and agent for Ronald J. and Linda K. Joseph petitioner.
Mr. President,
Ms. Phipps?
I move to adopt ordinance 9254.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Michelle?
Phipps?
Yes.
Robinette?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Harold?
Yes.
Hollenbaugh?
Yes.
Musgrave?
Yes.
Odoricio?
Yes.
All right, ordinance 9254 is adopted. Is there any other business to come before council this? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
I got you.